Welcome to our program. I'm Tony Noakes.
And I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh.
This segment of our program is about Roundup weed and grass killer. So, Dr. Wendy, can you tell us about the problems our viewers should be aware of if they have been exposed to this product?
Sure, Tony. Now, Roundup weed and grass killer is manufactured by Monsanto Company, and it's a company recently acquired by Bayer for over $60 billion. It was introduced in 1974 as a way to kill weeds while leaving crops and plants intact, and it's sold in 160 countries worldwide. It's one of the most popular herbicides on the market, with over 1.4 billion pounds used every year. Now, the problem with the product is that it's been designated by the World Health Organization as a probable human carcinogen because its main ingredient, glyphosate, is a carcinogen that's said to cause non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, that's a huge risk factor for sure from a product so widely used. So, what is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is a type of blood cancer that affects white blood cells, which are an important part of our immune system. Because lymphocytes circulate throughout most of the body, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma can occur nearly anywhere in the body. According to the American Cancer Society, they estimate that for 2018, over 74,000 people will be diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, with nearly 20,000 deaths caused by this disease.
What studies have been done linking Roundup exposure to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Well, this is the interesting part. Since 2001, 3 large studies have linked Roundup exposure with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. These studies include one published in the International Journal of Cancer. That was published in October 2008 by Swedish researchers who found a doubled increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma among men who were exposed to Roundup. Occupational and Environmental Medicine, another journal, published a study in September of 2003 that found a 60% increased risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma among farm workers in Midwestern United States.
Has the World Health Organization issued any reports on this?
Oh, they certainly have. In March of 2015, the International Agency Research on Cancer, which is the cancer research arm of the World Health Organization, issued a report published in Lancet Oncology, which declared that the glyphosate contained in Roundup probably causes cancer in humans. Glyphosate was also added to California's list of known human carcinogens effective July 7, 2017, according to the Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment. And in New York, Monsanto agreed to stop falsely advertising Roundup weed killer as safe when studies indicate otherwise.
I'm thinking there must be a number of lawsuits that have been filed as a result of the problems with Roundup.
Oh, you're thinking right, Tony. There have been. In fact, the latest number of Roundup glyphosate-related lawsuits have ballooned to over 8,000 after a San Francisco jury in August 2018 awarded $289 million to a former groundskeeper who was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, after denying Monsanto's motion for a new trial, the final award was eventually reduced to $78.5 million in October of 2018. This is still the largest glyphosate Roundup award so far. Additional individual and class action lawsuits have been filed after this verdict based on allegations that Monsanto knew about the link between exposure to Roundup and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and simply failed to warn consumers. This is a legal alert for users of Roundup Weed Killer. You may have heard about Roundup settlements. If you or a loved one used Roundup Weed Killer and have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you may be entitled to compensation. In a May 26, 2020 Bloomberg News story, it was reported that Bayer AG is about to announce that they settled with over 100,000 Roundup victims who've alleged its Roundup Weed Killer was responsible for their non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. One renowned law firm is aggressively pursuing these cases to achieve higher values for their clients rather than settle for less. This news follows 3 landmark verdicts, the most recent in May of 2019 for $2 billion, one in March 2019 for $80 million, and yet another in August 2018 for $289 million. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after being exposed to Roundup or a glyphosate herbicide, you should consult counsel to determine what a fair settlement is for your injuries. Strict deadlines may apply. Call today.